Hello and welcome. So today we're going to look at this particular polarity, matching and mismatching. And really simply put, matching has to do with looking for agreement. So looking and scanning the environment for what is the same, what is alike. Yeah, so it could be in conversation with someone, but it could also simply be in the environment or looking at particular things in our environment that are the same, that we associate with, that we like, when we say we like that, we like someone or we like something, it basically means I am like that. I want to be like that. I want to be associated with that from the sense of self. Yeah. So matching. So we look for what is alike, what's the same, sameness, agreement, likability. Yeah. So that all has to do with matching. Mismatching, on the other hand, has to do with looking for dislike or disagreement or difference. So we're scanning the environment and we're looking, what is different here? How could it be done differently? How am I not like this? And dislike in this context doesn't mean necessarily negative. It just means how am I not the same? How am I different? Yeah. So it looks for dislike. How am I not like this? And really good leaders, particularly, have a really healthy balance of both matching. So what is alike here? How can we make everyone work together in this environment, for example? How can we see things eye to eye and really work together as a team, for example? But also, how can we do things different in our environment, in our industry? Most leaders are stronger on the mismatching side, but because they naturally tend to look for what is different. How can it be done differently? How can we do things differently in the world? This is what the world is like. I want it to look different. So I'm going to create a product or a service or something that is going to support that process in some way. And of course, as healthy humans, we want to balance these two aspects of ourselves. So as you know, we're going to walk up and down from matching to mismatching and find yourself maybe a particular context, situation where you notice yourself either moving towards one or the other more. So you're really looking for agreement or likability, or you're looking for some sort of difference in how can it be done differently, yeah? So either one of the two, and go stand on the sand. Once you have that scenario, go stand on the side of matching. We're going to go stand on the side of matching. And once you stand there, I want you to notice the body first. So how is the body responding to standing in this sense of sameness, in this sense of we are alike, we are the same, we're in agreement? And notice how the body responds to this position. Notice the breath and notice the heartbeat. And really feeling into any sensations or anything that comes up in this space as you stand in this space of agreement, of likability, of sameness. And really notice how it feels here as the body is totally immerse yourself in this experience where you're the same, you're alike, this person or this group of people or this organization, whatever it might be that you've chosen. Maybe it feels very comfortable to be here. Maybe it doesn't feel so comfortable. All of it is welcome. So just notice what is arising naturally in the system, in the body. And see if you can drop any story in mind and really drop into the body. And then gently and slowly, as you move away from matching and move towards mismatching, and as you walk towards the other side, feel how the body responds to this, moving from one side to the other, as you stand now in a place of mismatching, of seeing things differently, looking for difference. looking for how things are not alike. Maybe looking for other options or possibilities. And standing in this place of disagreement. And notice how it is to be here and to stand here in this position of disagreement. And again, notice the heartbeat. Notice any particular breathing patterns that might be present. And notice any sensations or tingling feelings or maybe changes in temperature or any comfort or discomfort in the body that's present here. And how is it different to stand here than on the other side? What's the difference in quality or way of being? And then gently in your own time, starting to move to the other side again. You're starting to move towards the side of matching. Towards the side of agreement and likability and sameness. And again, as you move from one side to the other, notice how the energetic shift occurs in the body, where specifically in the body. Is there any difference occurring? Or maybe it's the same, whatever's here. You really see if you can be in touch with the intrinsic deep connections of the body and the mind, and just any subtle energies or noticings that you can be aware of here. And now you stand back in the place of matching, so of agreement, of likability, of shareability, of sameness. Seeing it the same way or being on the same page. Notice anything that's arising here in the body. Any subtleties in energy. Maybe some memories or associations pop up. Maybe this feels comfortable, maybe uncomfortable. And then in your own time, start to move towards mismatching again. And then just feel free to walk up and down in your own pace, in your own time, in your own rhythm. And see how these energies really at some point start to blend and merge. And how they're really interdependent upon one another. I can only see agreement if I can have a reference point of what it is like to not agree. And I can only not agree if I have a reference point of what it's like to agree. Notice if you notice any preference for one side or the other. And how that's really your edge. If there is a preference, that's your edge. Whether that's matching or mismatching, whichever side that is for you. To integrate the other side would make you more flexible, more dynamic, more holistic as a human being. Because you're able to see both the sameness that's here and the differences that are here as well. And then in that way, start to move towards the fifth person perspective. So towards the apex point at the top, and look back as you see now both matching and mismatching. And really hear what's available here in this perspective, and notice how the body responds, to this place. Maybe there's a spaciousness that's available, or maybe confusion in the body, or sort of a disorientation, whatever's here. But really, as a perspective, what is available here is a way of viewing that is simply viewing, with no particular preference. to either agree or disagree. It's simply information and data. And how this way of viewing is actually really quite effortless and quite, there's not much opinionated here, not much preference here. Whether someone or something or a group of people either agrees with you or disagrees, it doesn't matter much. Or you agree or disagree with them, it doesn't really matter much. It's simply viewing, a way of viewing, a way of seeing things. And this is particularly powerful in any sort of facilitation context or leadership context as you're working with a team or in an organization. And there might be people that, most people tend to struggle with disagreement. There might be people that disagree with your point of view. How it's very easy to go into defense mode. It's actually disagreement is simply seeing it differently. And the moment you actually are open for the possibility, there's a whole range of possibility that's available here in terms of what this person might be bringing to the table, in terms of a different way of doing things or what's available here. There's a lot of potential here if we're able to receive the fullness of that. If we are stuck on either one side or the other, we're not able to see the whole picture. We're not able to meet someone in their perspective, which is limiting for both us and them, as well as the team or the group of people. This could also happen in a family dynamic or any other relational dynamic, really. And we're really stuck in a perspective, and we can really get stuck in arguments and who's right and who's wrong and all these things. Because really, if we really stand in this fifth person perspective, it's really, oh, okay, it's simply a different way of looking at things. It doesn't necessarily matter too much or say anything about me. And so taking things personally, that's where you're hooked, right? If you take something personally, you're hooked. You're in some way, shape, or form stuck in your own preference. So this fifth person perspective is non-personal. It's not personal. Subjective, it's open, it's spacious, and see what's available here for you in this perspective. And now when you finish that, I want you to write down one main insight from this practice, one takeaway. So one insight, one takeaway, and then also one opportunity in your life, whether it's a context or a particular situation. So be specific where you're going to apply this. Maybe it is with that family member or that colleague that seems to always disagree with you, and really start applying this principle, or maybe it's your mom or your dad or whomever this is playing out with most. And start to really get curious about the other person's point of view. If you can get curious about the other person's point of view, you're most likely not stuck in this, because you're in curiosity as opposed to being right. The moment you're in righteousness in any way, shape, or form, you're most likely stuck on this polarity somewhere. If you're curious and open, you're able to receive the other person's point of view, and you're probably able to learn more. So have a play around and come to us with any questions if they are alive. And yeah, have fun.